I love Keanu Reeves. If you want to go see John Wick, fucking go for it. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to. But John Wick's not a family movie. So if you're looking for a movie for your family or your date or whatever, or you just don't want to get into like hardcore, pop, 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 go see Shazam! Fury of the Gods. We are a far better film, and those of you who have seen the movie know this.
Listen, come here. Shut your stupid ass up. Say that, folks.
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies from There's New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka Ron O'Neal, with my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka Joey Styles.
There we go. We always doing 80s references, so I decided to take it back and do a 70s reference. So anybody catches that, you're good on you. Well,
I did a 90s reference.
Okay, so we're doing a game. Normally it's vice versa. I do the 90s reference. You do the 70s reference. Yeah, we're back with another episode, and like I said, we got a fun show for you. We got a bunch of cool stuff we're gonna talk about, but I do have to talk about some serious stuff we're gonna talk about before we start. This weekend, something tragic happened in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. A tornado had touched down in the town and completely destroyed it. You may have heard about the news, you may have not heard about the news, but whatever you saw on the news, it doesn't do it justice. It was pretty rough. It was pretty bad. All I can say is that there are some relief teams down there. There are some disaster teams down there. People did hit me up before the show asking what can they do? Like people not from Mississippi asking what can they do? It's actually a bunch of places you can go and donate, but one that I used to go through as people I'm really friends with is MississippiMove.org. That's what I go through. Like I said, we don't have the biggest footprint on the internet. We're not Joe Rogan. We're not Joe Budden or anything like that, or Joe whoever, but we do what we can. So if anybody want to donate to them, you don't even have to donate money. You can donate, clothes, food, electronics, whatever you want to do. Donate something
Water,
there.
I'm sure they could use water.
Yeah, water down there, anything like that. Like I said, I talked to somebody that was down in disaster relief. They said, like I said, 26 people died down there. People are still missing down there. Businesses have been destroyed. And keep in mind, Rolling Fork, Mississippi is not, a big city at all by no stretch of the imagination. Like I said, it's another town in Mississippi. Been there a bunch of times before, but that's all I want to do. I just want to put that out there. I will say this again at the end of the podcast, but I don't want to bring everything down. Just want to throw that out there because people were asking me. So, yeah. So, praying for Rolling Fork. All right. Yeah. So, that being said, let's move on. Eli, are you ready to create some content?
I suppose.
That sounds wrong, though.
You sound like one of my
pause.
Supervisors.
Right, pause. Let's move on past.
Well, man, that's like, how do I go from that to this?
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the bullshit?
Like one of my bosses. You ready to do this? You ready to do it? Like, I guess.
It'll be really nice if you talk about this. But anyway, like I said, I'm putting it on Eli's shoulders now because Eli saw a movie this weekend. Before we get into it, we're gonna do an old classic. I don't have the chart or anything like that, but Eli, give it to me. What was the #1 movie of the week? What do you think it was?
I heard it was John Wick is the illest.
It was John Wick by far, like crushed everybody. Number 6 was Scream Sixum or whatever, and 3 was Shazam 2. We will talk about Shazam 2 later on. Well, depending on how far Eli goes with John Wick, we'll talk about that. If he goes far enough, I'm gonna just say screw it. I'm not gonna talk about it.
I'm supposed to stretch out John Wick.
This content. Okay, so Eli has a feat. You
want to pay for this? Okay.
And plus, on the website, on the Facebook page, on our IG page, Eli's doing Eggplant Wednesday. So yeah. But anyway, John Wick, Chapter 4 just ran through it. Eli, I don't care. Give me all the spoilers I can handle. Just let it rip. I don't care who hit. He fights his father in this movie. He fights his son in this movie. Just let it go. He was dead the whole time since part one. I don't care.
It was all a dream.
It was all a dream. Let it go. I don't care. Thanos snaps him away. I don't care. Let it rip. Let it go. What you got? So
Well,
what would you?
Yeah. John Wick 4. Well, John Wick kicks ass. Spoilers. That's pretty much what it is. And he kicks ass again. Yeah, I enjoy the John Wick movies. I dig on them. I love I'm a big action fan. You know, I watch all kinds of kung fu movies. John Wick is like, you know, whenever a John Wick movie's made, is like they gotta set the bar higher, you know, as far as like action choreography. You know, we get to see top-notch fight scenes, top-notch gunfights, car chases, all that shit. That's what you go to see John Wick for. You don't give a fuck about the plot.
Yeah. I mean, his directors were former stuntmen.
Yeah. One of the directors was his body double in The Matrix. You know, and these guys know what they're doing. They're stuntmen. They know how to create stunts. They know how to shoot the stunts. They know how to make it all look cool, and that's what they do. That's what you watch John Wick for. The plot, who gives a shit? The only plot that ever mattered was the first one. You know, they kill his dog, and he goes on a fucking revenge spree, and it was dope. You know, very simple. And ever since then, they're trying to kill him for the shit he did in the first movie. That's what it all is. And same thing in this movie, they're still trying to kill him. He's been kicked out of the gang or kicked out of the organization. You know, this secret world, you know, organization where of assassins that like run the world or something,
like
shit like
everybody's an assassin.
Yeah, like everybody on Earth is you know, a killer of some sort. and yeah, and it's just watching him go from city to city, country to country, shooting people in the face. And yes, Jake, I what's the body count? Yeah, like, you know, infinity. I don't know. He kills everybody in this movie.
That's why it's 3 hours long. I mean,
and he overkills them. I mean, the action scenes are so over the top and cartoony. They're hilarious. Like, he shoots a guy 5 times in the face and then slits his throat. It's like, why?
He's a zombie.
Yeah, it's like, why? But who cares? It's fun to watch, you know. And that's why you watch these. They're fun to watch. If you're into action, you know, that's what it's for, you know. If you like the other John Wick movies, you'll have a blast. The only thing I can basically critique is, yes, this movie was 3 hours. 3 hours. So there was some lulls. There was a couple of slow parts where I'm like, I don't care. Can we get back to the ass whipping? You know, because the story, the plot, who gives a shit? Like I said, who gives a shit? He's, you know, got kicked out of one gang, so then he goes to another gang. But in order to join that gang, he's got to kill somebody in another gang. So he goes and kills that guy, and you know, so he can get to that guy. And it's like, you know, flying from country to country. They go to Japan, they go to like Europe again and Paris and shit. And just him taking on, you know, a plethora of enemies. There's a lot. Donnie Yen is in this. I know people are trying to cancel Donnie Yen these days, but
oh shit, what did he do?
Well, he's something about some political shit, I think. Some other shit.
What he said? China sucks, and now they want to cancel.
Oh no, I think he said China is awesome or something.
Oh, okay.
And the pro government. Remember we all those protests. I remember I mentioned this when I watched the last Ip Man movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the stairway fight. Yes, he has to. There's a lot. Okay, if we're gonna get deep,
Leroy
wants me to go deep into the mythology.
The more you talk about John Wick, the less bullshit I had to talk about.
Okay, I will say yes. All the John Wick movies are full of like symbolism, you know, religious symbolism. You know,
I was just joking. I didn't know you were really gonna go there.
Yeah, biblical symbolism, all that shit. You know, gods and you know, and man and fighting for, you know, to be, you know, powerful men trying to become gods or whatever, icons or whatever. Power corrupts, all that shit. Yes, there's a stairway fight where it's totally like he's got to climb the mountain. He's got to battle his way up to the mountain to meet the gods, to meet Zeus. So he can become like the people who run this secret world organization of criminals, of killers or whatever. And he has to fight up a stairway, and it's like him and a couple other guys. Like I said, Donnie Yen's in there. Donnie Yen whipping ass. He's a blind man. He's blind again.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he was blind in Rogue One. Well, he's blind again, and he kicks mad ass. So basically, if you watch this movie and then you're going to go watch the new Daredevil series, you're going to be disappointed because Donnie Yen kicking ass as a blind man is going to be way better than anything Disney's going to do with their. But yeah, like the fight scenes are top notch. There's tons of references to other action movies, westerns, The Warriors. There's a total scene where a DJ comes on. They're all after. There's like a $20 million bounty on John Wick's head, and a radio DJ, just her lips, comes on and says, "Okay,
Good
boppers."
news, boppers.
Yeah,
they actually say
yeah,
that. Okay.
they say, "Good news, boppers." We're, and then they play "Nowhere to Run to, Nowhere to Hide." They play the song, and then there's a whole montage of all these killers loading up their weapons, putting bullets in their guns and shit, and going after the John Wick. There's a total throwback to The Warriors, which I loved. There's a duel scene right out of a Sergio Leone western. They even have like the musical cues to like what's his name? Ennio Morricone and shit. Yeah, it's just fun. It's a fun action flick, And I love these fight scenes. I love like the crazy choreography, And since John Wick's come out, we've seen like more movies with this same sort of choreography, like Nobody. Or
that's because it's the same people doing it.
Yeah. Kate on Netflix, which is awesome, really brutal. What was that Bullet Milkshake or some shit with all the women?
I know what you're talking about.
Oh no, something Milkshake. Jake, what's that movie called? It's on Netflix. Atomic Blonde.
Deadpool.
Yes. Yeah. That very, very brutal, visceral style of fight choreography that we saw from the Raid. It all goes back to the Raid movies. Once those came out, that was highly influential, and now we're seeing that sort of evolution.
Bullet Train.
Bullet Train.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Bullet Train. Yeah, and that movie was like over 2 hours. Yeah.
It didn't need to be. It was just straight ahead. But at the same time, it had some awesome action in it. It was just a fun movie. So yeah.
Yeah. And that's what this is. It's just fun, over the top, cartoony violence. Like I said, a lot of symbolism. Hey, Cliff's in the house.
What we got, Cliff? Cliff. Since Cliff is here, Cliff, don't leave because I got some shit we're gonna talk about it here that you're gonna wait for to see. See, since Cliff is here, I got to talk about it now. Okay.
Yeah, there's like a scene, like in every John Wick movie, there's always like a scene that makes you contemplate violence or whatever. Like I remember in part 2 when they're fighting in the museum, all these fight scenes around all these big art sculptures and paintings and stuff, and then they go into the art installation about mirrors and reflections of self. And, you can tell that the filmmakers are like, okay, why do we watch violence as entertainment? Why is violence as art? It brings up those themes and shit.
Or were they just ripping off Enter the Dragon?
They could, yeah, which was the same, similar themes. Yeah, Enter the Dragon throwbacks. Part 3, where they're fighting in the library. There's a historic violence as history, the world history of violence. In this scene, there's a scene in this movie where there's a fight in a club. And they're just fighting and everybody is just dancing. So they're like, oh yeah, how we just sort of deal with violence. Violence is just around us and we just sort of tolerate it. So yeah, we it had some, themes going on. But other than that, who cares? You just watch John Wick kick ass. So
and he does it very well. He's the Baba
Yaga.
Yaga.
He does, yeah. So yeah. Like I said, Donnie Yen is in this. Scott Atkins. He's another stuntman, action star. He's in a fat suit in this movie.
Oh, that's him. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw him in the trailer, but yeah.
Yeah, he's in a fat suit. That's the fight in the club. It's just, if you're into action movies, like I said, that's why you watch it. You watch like the top-notch choreography. You know what I mean? You see, like, they put all the money into the fight scenes. The car chases. There's a car chase where he's drifting. He's like drifting in his car. He's like spinning around while he's like pop, 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 pop. Crazy shit. He uses nunchucks in this movie.
They finally give him nunchucks. Okay.
They gave him. He's no Bruce Lee or Michelangelo, but he was using them like they were a baseball bat. He's like swinging them.
Oh, so he didn't do the what the?
He tried to, but he was just mainly just using them like a sword. Yeah. It was just, how do they keep topping each movie? They still manage to. These big huge sets, big long drawn out fight scenes. Is he dead? Is he really dead? I heard they're making another one already. So is he really dead? They leave it kind of, this could have been the last one, but it's not. So I heard they're already they filmed like John Wick 4 and 5 back to back. So obviously they're making another one. So,
well, at least they wrote the script out. So yeah.
That's right. The what's his name? The hotel guy. Him.
Oh yeah, but he didn't die in the movie, did he?
Yeah, he died.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a little shocked at that too. Yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer because I was like, oh, that dude just passed away, and then he dies in the movie, so it was a little too soon,
Right. That's wow. That's
that was a little bit of a bummer. But Lawrence Fishburne's in it again. Clancy Brown is in it as he's like one of the main guys who lead this organization.
Clancy Brown is about to be in something else too, some TV show. Penguin. He's gonna be a Penguin.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's Maroney.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
The dog will lead the four Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
So.
And there's a dog in this one who kicks. He kept sicking nuts.
They learned their lesson. I'm pretty sure the dog didn't die this time. It's like just shoot him, just don't shoot the dog.
Halle Berry had a dog in the last movie.
Them dogs were vicious.
She had two dogs.
She had two of them. Yeah, they were attack dogs and everything.
Yeah.
So
It was fun. It didn't need to be 3 hours. They could have chopped up some of the big, huge, shots of epic cityscapes and, long drawn out monologues of, actors, saying cool, badass, trying to be badass, but we don't give a shit. Like I said, let's just get to the fights. This could have been an easy 2 hours.
Right. Save some of that for the next movie.
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed it. I liked all these movies. This one's, they still managed to pull off, over the top action sequences. That's why you see it. The choreography, the car chases, the fights, it's a lot of fun.
So let me ask you this. Do you think it's Oscar worthy? I've been hearing that. But like, honestly, the way people have been talking about this movie, Eli, you're kind of underselling it because everybody else has been like, oh, this is the greatest movie, like, of the John Wick franchise, best movie I've seen this decade. Like, people just, it should be nominated for Oscar,
Hey, if Top Gun and Avatar, yes.
I was just saying, if
I would much rather watch John Wick than Top Gun or Avatar.
Okay, but if Keanu Reeves won an Oscar for John Wick, I'm like, wait, what?
Well, all he's doing is Neo. Yeah.
Pretty much, he's just doing Neo, like
guns. I need some guns.
Lots of guns.
Yeah, that's all he says.
So, all right. So go ahead, slap a rate on. Let's see what you got.
I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I mean, it was fun. It's just like all the other movies. It's just it was long. I felt the length towards the end. Especially after some of the fight scenes are just so like whoa that by the time you get to the ending, like
kind of take a breather.
You're kind of like it's sort of anticlimactic. Towards the end, it's like, well, how do they top, this big, huge set piece that you just like, that was like an hour ago. You know what I mean? And now, it's sort of the ending was a little like lost its steam towards the end. You kind of lost it. That's how I felt with Terrifier 2. Like there's a sequence in Terrifier 2, like holy shit, that was brutal, and how do they top that? But then and towards the end of that movie, you're like, okay, it's not as cool as it was.
Like it peaked
20
in the
minutes
second
ago.
act, and the third act kind of where kind of like just
like the stairway fight was fun, but there was like 20 minutes after that.
Damn. Okay.
I give it a 4 out of 5. It was fun.
Nice.
Another
okay.
John Wick flick. And
if
enough said. If you like this shit, you'll dig this one.
Yep. And maybe it'll win an Oscar. Who knows? If we did, you heard it here first. So, all right. So let's click here. I'm gonna actually jump to the another. I was save it for the end. And we're gonna talk about something that just dropped like about 2 weeks. No, 2 days. No, yesterday.
Yeah, like
maybe yesterday.
this
Yeah,
weekend.
4 out of 5. Okay,
Yeah.
Cliff got a 4 out of 5. Eli got a 4 out of 5. Cool. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna talk about this old Jonathan Majors thing that happened. Like I said, it's Jonathan Majors. People don't know what happened. Like I said, he's Kane the Conqueror. He's gonna be in like 20 Marvel movies, in the next 5 years, whatever like that. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, he got arrested yesterday in New York because he was, I guess, got an argument with his girlfriend or some girl or something like that. We don't know what's going on like that. We don't know anything. This is all we know. But however, the internet doesn't care. They would just speculate on anything they want to and think they know everything, and everybody wants to be detectives and Sherlock Holmes and piece all this shit together. Oh, this girl that he took to the red carpet 2 years ago. I don't know. What gives a fuck? Maybe it happened. Here's my thing. My thoughts about this whole thing right there. Now, do we know whether or not Jonathan Majors did it? We don't know. Maybe he did, maybe he did. But it's funny to me how people flip-flop and turn on him so quickly just because of this news they heard like that. Like, I mean, Eli, wasn't 2 days ago they were calling him the sexiest man alive? And now all of a sudden, that's the same people that were saying this stuff. Now they hear this stuff. That ugly motherfucker, I knew he was going to do that shit. Like, damn, how y'all switch so quick? Like, damn. Like, we don't know what happened. And matter of fact, we shouldn't even speculate on what happened. Let's all the news come out to that. Will he get fired from Marvel or Disney from this stuff like that? Fuck no. Not gonna get fired from it. You know why he's not going to get fired from Disney? Because it's Disney. They have pretty much put their entire phase on this guy. So they're going to put the best lawyers on him they possibly can. They're going to hire the dream team. Robert Kardashian, Johnny Cochran, whoever they got. I know they did, but
They're
still.
dig Johnny Cochran up.
Get Kim. She's a lawyer now. Shit. So they'll find a way to make sure he don't go to jail. And matter of fact, she's already recanted her statement, even though she had to go to the hospital for injuries. Like, okay, whatever. Okay. But like I said, Disney has the money to make all this shit go away. That's the thing about Disney.
Sitting in the chair with his cat.
Exactly. Y'all think this is
That is not justice.
That is not, like I said, do you think this is the first Marvel actor that got in trouble with domestic violence? He is not. By no stretch of the imagination, but we're not going to get into names like that because it's all speculation. But the point is, you never hear about it. Just like this shit right here, by this time next week, everybody will have forgotten about it. Disney has enough money to Men in Black all of us on this shit. We will forget about it. We won't know. Now, if he did it, I'm not saying he should get off. I'm not saying free Jonathan Majors. I ain't saying none of this stuff like that. If he did do whatever they said he did, there should be some consequences to it. But it's Disney, so it won't be any consequences. I will give you another example. Ezra Miller. Now, all he did is all Jonathan Majors, maybe he choked the chick. I don't know what he did. This motherfucker, I got to make sure I use the correct pronouns. This motherfucker. So this motherfucker.
Motherfuckers, man. Motherfuckers.
Look, all you motherfuckers, right?
All these motherfuckers.
Right. All y'all motherfuckers. So slap the motherfucker. Broke into somebody's home. Kidnapped people. Held people hostage. Maybe a possible cult leader. And the police were looking for him the whole time while he was doing this shit. I'm sorry, this motherfucker, whatever like that. Where was this motherfucker? On the WB lot, filming that damn movie, The Flash, which is still coming out this year. So y'all saying that motherfucker, it can do whatever the fuck he want to do, but Jonathan Major is canceled for some shit that may have been, nah, fuck that, nah. If they fire him for this shit, it's gonna be a fucking riot. It's gonna be like, and I understand it. Oh, they can't get away with it. Ezra Miller was white and Jonathan Major is black. He don't get the same. Look, Disney needs him. White people need him. So as long as they need him, he ain't going to jail. He's fine. Now, once he get fired from Disney and he fuck up and do some other shit, now that's completely different. That's on him. Because you got other people coming out, other directors saying,
Fox News is going to have a field day with this because Gina Carano, all she said was some stupid shit.
I didn't even think about that. Not even Fox News, every other YouTuber other than us. They're gonna act the ass on this shit.
And I ain't defending Gina Carano. I'm just saying.
Fat T with a allegedly. Like I said, I didn't. Oh, which one? Ezra Miller. Yeah, allegedly Ezra Miller did all this shit. You know what it is. Like I said, that's what's going on right now. So, like I said, I'm not condoning anything. If he did what he did, that's I'm gonna let the people that's in charge worry about that shit, And even if he did slap, choke, stab, whatever the fuck he did, I don't know what he did. I'm just saying, does that mean we cancel him overnight? Does it mean we, I can't watch Lovecraft Country ananymore? Nah, I'm gonna watch the shit. I can separate the shit. You ain't killing Ted the Logan that easily video. Who was that? Keanu Reeves? Was he
yeah,
Ted?
He's talking
he
about
was Ted.
Bill and
Okay.
Ted.
I can't remember which one was Bill, which one was Ted. Okay. Shout out to Alex Winter. But yeah.
Thanks for listening, Joey.
Yeah. So that's all I got to say about that. I just want to just get that off my chest. That's it, because it's fresh, it's hot off the presses. We'll talk about that and move on from that. So yeah. Is it back on me? Okay.
Sure, go ahead. That's what, you want. I really ain't got nothing to say other than I haven't seen Quantum Mania or The Wasp, so I don't really give a shit.
But the thing is, if you watch any Marvel thing in the next 5 years, he's gonna be in it.
I did. I wanted to see the new Creed, so
that's exactly Creed.
If I watch that, am I canceled now?
Right.
Am I allowed to watch Creed? Can I still watch Lovecraft Country?
Oh shit! All right. So what's the next thing we're gonna talk about? The next thing, the other big news that popped in this week was let's talk about Shazam 2. I know we talked about Shazam 2. This is not a review of Shazam 2. I did a review of Shazam 2 last week. Matter of fact, I'm going to do some magic right now.
Oscar worthy.
Right there. You may not see it now. Rewatch this video. You'll see it. There you go. I'm going to try some shit. No, I want me not to try anything. You probably watch it like, well, what's supposed to happen? Yeah. Check it out and see. Maybe that's his kink, though. I don't even know who we talk about who's kinky. The outrage is always louder than the apology. Like I said, this whole thing gonna blow up, so it don't even really matter. They're back.
Yeah, I do want to be famous. Who's this vehement?
Rocking my Kane shirt tomorrow in solidarity. I got you. I got you, Cliff. All right. So anyway, let's talk about this Shazam thing. Now we're gonna talk about Shazam. Like I said, it's not a review. I'm not gonna review this show. Watched last week what he did. But the reason I'm gonna talk about it because some stuff has happened with Shazam. Now for people that don't know, Shazam is one of the worst performing superhero movies in box office history. Like, especially in the new millennium. Yeah. Because we didn't even talk about this last week, and I didn't see anybody talk about this, but Eli, one of our biggest posts we got on our Facebook page right now is this one. For people that don't know, Morbius actually had a better opening weekend than Shazam 2. By like about $10 million. And Shazam 2 in its second week actually had one of the biggest drops off in superhero movies, even though it had one of the worst ones also. Like I said, it's already at number 3. So this movie is making no money whatsoever. So it happens. Movies flop. We move on. But it's not that simple because this happened. This report, not even a report came out. Now, normally we get reports like this. I know you can't see it right now, but what's going on is that it's a report that's saying that The Rock, blocked Shazam from appearing in Black Adam. Oh, yeah. And spoiler alert, at the end of Shazam, okay, you got James Gunn's wife showing up with Diebeard, and they're trying to recruit him to Justice Society. And everybody was jumping on James Gunn saying, man, why you always casting your wife and stuff? Why you always casting your wife and stuff? And he was trying to say, I didn't cast my wife in that movie. They only cast my wife in the movie because they wouldn't let the Justice Society members in there. Who wouldn't let them do it? The Rock. The Rock blocked the Justice Society members from showing up at the end of Shazam. How he has so much power to do this shit, I don't know. They just stopped him doing it. Now, normally I would ignore all the stuff because, like I said, you get all kind of weird, reports all the time. We got this covered. Jonah Hill is the next Superman, all the shit like that. Normally I just block all this shit out. But the problem is this report was posted by Zachary Levi, the star Shazam. He posted it himself. So basically, he's confirming all this shit, all this rumor shit that everybody was saying. Let me see what we got here. Shazam 2 telling everybody that John Wick 4. Okay, I'm glad you talked about that. I'm glad you talked about that, Fat T, because I was about to say that also. Okay, that's actually not true. That was documented by some ass on Twitter. He is not telling everybody that Shazam 2 is better than John Wick 4. He didn't say that. They edited his shit on Twitter. He did say go see Shazam 2 instead of John Wick 4. The reason he said it because he said John Wick 4, just like you said, Eli, he shoots up everybody. She tried to shot the whole world and stuff like that. And he said Shazam 2 is a kiddie movie. So if you have a family with a bunch of kids, go see Shazam 2 instead of John Wick, which I'm sure there were plenty of kids in your theater watching John Wick. I just imagine. So take that, Zachary Levi. So yeah, that's my thing about that. So he has been just on a tear right now. He's blaming everybody for the failure of Shazam. He's blaming Warner Brothers for marketing. He's blaming The Rock for not, putting people in there. He's blaming who the fuck I just named? John Wick. He's blaming The Last of Us. He's blaming us, for all this shit like that. And then some other reports came out. I didn't even see this at Comic-Con, that him and The Rock had a conversation at Comic-Con. It looked like some real tension going on right there. Apparently, they're not really happy. So here's the thing, Eli. So we wanted Black Adam versus Shazam, but we didn't expect this is how we were going to get it. So yeah, so this is the Black Adam versus Shazam fight that we didn't know we wanted, but we ended up getting. So yeah, I guess. Let me see what we got. Man, fuck Shazam is with it. Basically, everybody like fuck Shazam is with it. Because the thing is, like I said, at this point now, is he wrong? Oh, he's blaming the Snyder fans. Also, he blamed the Snyder fans who want to destroy the movie, and basically the fact that the movie is flopping, that they're basically having cake and ice cream in the street, shit like that. Which they are. He's not wrong. I mean, but the thing is, he should just stop talking. Whether he's right or, and the funny thing about Zachary Levi is that everybody knows this meme right here. He's the guy that voiced that guy. So it's just fitting that he's the guy that voiced that guy. But my thing about Zachary Levi is that he should probably just stop talking, because whether he's right or wrong, this is not the time to say all this shit and air out your dirty laundry and put all your business out in the street. Maybe say this shit like 6 months down the road, or whenever.
But if he stops talking, then people on the internet won't have shit to bitch about.
Actually, if he stops talking, we would have forgot about this damn movie by now. That's what would have happened.
That's what I'm saying. People got to talk,
People got to talk, because if he didn't act an ass on Twitter like he did this week, nobody will be talking about Shazam 2. Matter of fact, nobody's talking about Shazam 2 right now. They're just talking about him acting an ass. Yeah. So that's the funny thing is, like I said, he's all on Twitter saying this. It's like he aged a weekend. like damn, DC put his ass through it, But the funny thing is, okay, remember Anson Mount, Black Bolt from Inhumans? Okay. He posted, I'm pretty sure you don't. But anyway.
Inhumans.
I forgot who I was talking to. Of course I remember Inhumans.
Oh yeah, Inhumans. Watched every episode.
Right. But anyway, that guy posted the best tweet on there. He just posted under that thing where Zachary Levi was acting an ass on Twitter. He just posted this. Shut the fuck up, man. Don't say anything. So that's my thing. So stop blaming The Rock. Stop blaming everybody else. Just be quiet. But I kind of understand why he's acting like this. Oh, I'm gonna talk about that too, Jake. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. Hero Highs, but I like that movie. You know what, Cliff? I agree with you. Hero High is a better movie than Shazam 2, but Hero High is a very underrated movie. But yeah. No, Sky High. Sky High was the name of that movie. But anyway.
Sky High?
Sky High, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one he meant to say.
High. Yeah, I never heard of
he meant Sky High. That's what he's talking about. But yeah, my thing is that I kind of understand why he's acting an ass like this, because he's scared. Because, okay, Black Adam flop. Did you see The Rock act an ass, anything like that? He didn't. He pretty much said, look, movie flop, it happens, move on. The Rock is not worried, because The Rock is going to get another movie. If Black Adam fails, he'll be okay. He'll get a movie franchise, and that's it. Zachary Levi, on the other hand, this might be it for him. He can't go back to Marvel. If he's done with DC, he's done with DC. I doubt they're going to get him in Fast and Furious, because they already had met their quota of white guys. So he's kind of done. That's pretty much it. He's going to be just doing like Hallmark love movies and shit like that. That's pretty much all he's got left. So he's
a Netflix series.
Netflix series. That's about it. But it won't even want to be a good Netflix series. It's going to be like a, one like, what's that Blockbuster show? It's going to be like one of those. So that's all he's got forward to looking to. I mean, he's not. I mean, like I said, we can say whatever we want to about Shazam. He's blaming everybody on Shazam except himself. He may have been the biggest problem with that movie. Now, yeah, people want to say, me personally, I think one of the biggest problems was marketing, because you got a hero that nobody gives a shit about fighting two old ladies. That'd be one thing. Can we blame The Rock for the failure of both of these franchises? You can, because he would be in. They canceled that show, so he can't be video on that. So, yeah, but like I said, they could have had The Rock. The Rock should have been in Shazam 1, not 2. 1. He should have been in 1. They fight it out, do what the fuck they want to do, and then go make sure, because that's the thing about these movies. All these superhero movies, Marvel, DC, whatever like that. The best thing and the worst thing about these movies is that they're commercials for other movies. So when The Rock blackballed Shazam from his own movie and not connected to anything, he kneecapped himself. Not only Shazam, himself. Because you tie both of these movies together, that would have made Shazam more money. That would have made The Rock more money. And he might have had more power to like hold off James Gunn from taking over the position that he was gunning for.
Could have been the Rock in charge of everything.
That's what he was trying to do. The Rock was trying to take James Gunn's job. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Which is one reason why he had to go. But this is the way he could have done it. I know he probably saw his first Shazam movie, like the movie sucked. I don't want this guy to do anything with me. Plus, The Rock, has a contract where people can't beat him up in movies. So he like, if Vin Diesel can't beat me up, he damn sure ain't beating me up in these movies. So I get that, But he should have swallowed his pride, and everybody could have ate. But the way it is now you just
sticking too many shoes sideways up people's candy asses.
Basically, he called him a jabroni, and he turned out to be a jabroni. So yeah. What's the next thing I got? I'm sorry to be hogging up the show. It's something else that Jake just talked about. What did Jake just talk about?
Something about Shazam. Oh no,
Zack
Snyder.
Zack Snyder. We're talking about Zack Snyder. Let's talk about Zack Snyder. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Zack Snyder for a second. Speaking of, now, like I said, all this shit that about the Snyder fans and the Snyder bots ruining, Oh, that's what I'm gonna talk about. Okay, remember last week we talked about this? Zack Snyder had this big thing he planned, that he announced, but we didn't know what he announced. Well, now we know. Now we know that he announced Snyder-Con.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he announced his own convention. So that may ask more rumors that, the Snyder bots are a cult, Now he just made a convention just for himself. All like I said, anybody goes to this convention, if he hands out any Kool-Aid, do not drink it. That's all. But here's how much it costs to go to the convention. I'm gonna show you the convention. So I had to throw the thing off. Wait. What was that? There we go. Boom. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So now I'm going to show you the tickets to the weekend of Snyder-Con. This is it. So basically what Snyder-Con is, oh shit, I can't even read that. Let me load it up. Snyder-Con, okay, so you got Man of Steel. The first day is an IMAX. It costs $150 to go see Man of Steel. It's in California.
$150.
$150 just for one day, just for Man of Steel. Just for Man of Steel. Okay. The next day, Batman v Superman, $150 at his theater to go to. And Justice League, the Snyder Cut on Sunday in IMAX is $175. So so add that up for the weekend. 150, 175. For those not doing math at home, that's $475 for the weekend to watch 3 movies that you can just watch on HBO Max for $10 a month. But you can just go there. But
it's sold out though.
It's sold out in 4 minutes. 4 minutes. That's how fast this thing sold out. So you can't buy tickets. You can't get tickets anywhere. They're gone. They're out of here. So the place is going to be sold out. He's holding it in one theater in like California, and that's what we're going to show it. And people were like, Zach, but what about us? What about the rest of us? Zach, don't forsake us. All that shit like that. What he's saying, the same time he shows these movies at the theater, he's going to do a live watch along on Twitter. So if you want to join in and save $150 or $475, you can just watch it home with them. Actually, watch Just Leave under their free with an asset. What? How do you watch it? Okay, for free. I know you can watch it on HBO Max for free, but oh well. But yeah, so that's my thing. Honestly, Eli, I would have went. I actually, that's why I didn't screen. I screenshotted that because I was curious, like how much would the tickets cost if I would to go, if I wanted to take a week-long vacation and just head out to California and just watch the Snyder Cut in IMAX. What would it cost?
If it was in your town.
If it was in my town, would I pay that? I probably would. Me, I probably would pay it. Hey, this is a judgment-free zone. This is a safe space. I can say that. I probably would.
Bless you.
Oh shit. HBO. Oh, well, that's not free unless you bumming off somebody's account. I don't know. Yeah. So that's my thing. So I think we. Oh, you know what, Eli? I'm gonna let you talk about something because I want to know something.
All right.
We've been talking about someone last month about this. We're gonna talk about the Mandalorian.
Oh.
Talk about episode 3, and some stuff happened, and I just want you to just break it down for me. What? Yeah.
What happened? They got some giant chickens and brought them back.
I ain't worried about that. I'm talking about the flashback, the Order 66 flashback.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
I don't care about the killer chickens and shit. Yeah.
Oh, who was that? Oh, that was
now before we get there. Now, has it ever been like established that Baby Yoda was in Order 66, or there's something we just assumed?
We always saw like little cut scenes of something one of the other seasons. There was like a scene where he remembered Jedi getting cut down.
Okay. I just assume it was just something we just assumed he was in Order 66.
Yeah, and we obviously knew that he did survive because this is like 30 years later or some shit.
Well, like 30 years later. He's like 50, so yeah.
Yeah.
So, but my thing is, he was rescued by this guy, and when I watched it, I was like, I didn't know who this guy was. I just saw this badass Jedi just kicking ass like that. And I was like, okay, this guy's cool. Now I know because thank the internet, But I'm gonna let you go ahead and say who that was.
Well, I don't know who his name was, but that's the guy who played Jar Jar Binks.
That's the guy who played Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, Ahmed Best. I don't really know his name like that, but yeah, that's the guy who played Jar Jar Binks. So yeah, so he redeemed himself, and now he's a Jedi, and he didn't die at the end of the episode. So who knows? Maybe he'll back up. Maybe not. But people are saying this kind of confirms the Darth Jar Jar theory.
The Sith, that Jar Jar was a Sith.
Yeah,
I do like that theory though. That's
okay. So you like the theory too?
I think it's fun.
I'm standing by it. I'm gonna just talk about the Darth Jar Jar theory for a second because it kind of makes sense. Like George Lucas was all about everything rhymes, everything symmetrical. So you got Yoda that was this goofy looking lizard thing trying to be this badass Jedi. So what happens in the next movie when you had this goofy looking lizard thing trying to be a badass Sith? It rhymes, and plus, if you watch the movie again, episode 1, you do see Jar Jar like doing shit, taking out people, even though he's acting goofy, but he's still like killing like a whole bunch of people,
like a drunken master, and shit.
Like a drunken man, like he doing like a drunken master style. If you watch, he's like, okay, this is like he'll trip and a boulder will fly, and then he'll like kill like an army of robots and shit like that. But he did it like jokingly, it's like, huh. So, and it's just funny that Jar Jar just kind of just faded away in his movie. Like nothing happened to him. He didn't, other than he gave Emperor Palpatine control of the Empire. Other than that, but it does make sense that since Jar Jar wasn't real received, and maybe George Lucas was planning like this whole trilogy around him to be a bigger part, so he wasn't real received. Like no reason to just keep this guy in here. Let's kind of like fade him to the background. But if Jar Jar was a bigger thing, because he was really pushing Jar Jar in that first movie.
Oh yeah,
he was a bigger thing.
Toys, all the toys.
He even said it on the back scene. He was like, "We got to make Jar Jar work. Like everything in this movie revolves around Jar Jar." That's what he said in episode 1. So it just makes sense. Like if he was an evil Sith Lord, it makes sense. C-3PO. Oh man.
No, but I remember hearing that theory, the Jar Jar Sith theory, and it's fun. It's like he was like Kaiser Soze the whole time,
right,
making everybody out.
Right, but it makes sense. Like I said,
he's gone.
Reason they gave him more theory to this because they're saying like if Ahmed Best, can really do some stunts and action like that, why would you hire a guy like that to play a goofy ass role like that?
Yeah,
unless you're gonna flip it and make him do cool ass shit later on.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Jar Jar shows up a lot in the Clone Wars series. So and he's not a Sith. He's still a fuck up.
Yeah.
Avatar Water drops on VOD next week. When's it coming on Disney?
There you go.
Ain't it coming on Disney?
Oh, this is like 6 months later. It made too much money to just drop on Disney.
Oh,
now Ant-Man on the other hand, you probably see that shit like 2 weeks from now. They said the streets Naboo.
Yeah, I heard there's a book where he's like a beggar somewhere. Like in one of the newer novels that they kind of give him a tragic ending and shit.
my thing is, I don't know. It's just weird they didn't kill him in the movie. Like when Anakin was just going nuts, just wiping out everybody. Like, why not go after Jar Jar? Like, why not specifically go after Jar Jar first? You know.
But no, I mean, this episode this week was fun. Not much happened. Yeah, we got a little bit of history with Baby Yoda. That was probably the best scene. But Mando going after giant chickens. Sure, why not?
It was fun. I mean,
it was fun.
I mean, at least Mando was in it.
Yeah, he was.
Unlike last week.
And they kind of go into the I would like to get into the mythosaur.
I do find it funny when Bo-Katan say, I saw it. She's like, sure you did.
Yeah. And see, that's why Bo-Katan and all that she didn't like those motherfuckers. All these different things, like you fucking nut jobs and shit, man. You're a fucking cult,
The Snyder
can't take off your masks and shit. How you guys fucking fuck? How did this guy
leave the mask on? Come on.
That's his kink and shit.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. David said we move on to the next part of the podcast.
Sure.
Okay, we're here. We're there. Appreciate everybody sticking around. Like I said, it's Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about comic books. And Eli, I'm gonna let you go first because you actually did have a third book, so we're evened out. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. What do I have? Should I do the swamp?
Before you get started, let me do one little thing. I ain't mean to mess up your flow. Okay. I just want to get that loaded up before we did anything. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Well, I'll do my big book of the week again. This is Swamp Thing, Green Hell, number 3. The conclusion. How was
Damn,
that?
is this a black label book?
It was a black label. The conclusion. So we went like a year. They went like I took a year break. I guess Dave Mank or Doug Mank.
Monkey.
I guess he was sick, so this book got delayed over a year. But then now, last couple months, issues 2 and 3 dropped. This is the final issue. Green Hell. It is a Elseworld story, or kind of, sort of, in a way, wraps up that Animal Man Snyder Swamp Thing run. You know what I mean? That came out. Was it the New 52 or whatever?
Yeah, because Jeff Lemire did do that. Yeah, that whole Route
Jeff
World
Lemire
thing.
wrote
Yeah.
Animal Man. So yes, because Animal Man's daughter's in it. Maxine, Animal Woman, is in this. So basically, this is like, it's an alternate future Earth. It's water world, basically. Climate change fucked up the Earth. The Earth is underwater. Humans are spread out on these little pockets of islands. The red and the green decided that humanity needs to just, go. They're done. They wrecked the Earth. So they decide, we're going to come up with this like monstrous avatar zombie monster thing to kill off the rest of the humanity. Constantine goes and gets Alec Holland, who's been dead, raises him from the dead, said we need a Swamp Thing to kill this monster and save humanity. Alec Holland goes to the Green. The Green are like, nope, we got to let humanity die. Alec is like, no, we got to save humanity. There's innocent children. So, and the Green are like, if you decide to go fight this monster that's killing all these people, you're no longer part of the Green. That's your last body. So that was the ending of last issue. Mm-hmm. So this issue picks up, and it's all action. Alec Holland is in his last Swamp Thing body. So when he dies, he's dead. And the island is just getting swarmed by these like zombie monster things that are killing everybody. He raises an army of humans to help fight him, but he ends up like, he still has a bit of the power. He's still got some power left, but it's all used up. And once he uses it, he's all used up. So he uses his like Swamp Thing powers and like, raises a bunch of roots and stabs like a whole swarm of these monster things. But then he's really skinny after that. He's like weakened after that. And there's still just a swarm of monsters coming. So Constantine decides to slit his wrists and goes down to hell to sell his soul to Lucifer or another demon, another.
I mean,
guy.
Lucifer is in DC, so
yeah.
Or okay, was the blonde dude with wings?
No, he had long black hair. So I don't know. He was like a demon devil guy, but he had long black hair, and he makes a deal. It's like, yo, if you go and help Swamp Thing defeat these monsters, you can have my soul. And there's some back and forth between them, but the devil guy finally says, okay, sure. And then he gives Swamp Thing like hell powers, and then Swamp Thing is this big giant kaiju Swamp Thing and just like lays waste. Oh yeah, Animal Man's daughter, Maxine's there too. She comes in because she got Constantine got her last issue. So she's there with all the animals like fighting, You can see there's like these giant animals taking out these zombie monster things. So Animal Woman is there fighting the battle too. But at the end, yes, Swamp Thing grows this big giant, kaiju monster thing, takes out everybody. And then they go to, of course, the red and the green are all pissed off. So Maxine and Alec, they both go, she goes to the red, she goes to the green, and they end up killing those guys. Killing the red, the leaders. What are they called? Those, the hosts or what? You know what I mean? Because they're all. If you go back again, this is getting deep. This is all back from Lemire's Animal Man run. He established that the green and the red, though, all those beings that rule the parliaments, that they used to be humans. That you know what I mean? That they used to be humans. So they can become, they can die and become somebody new. So I think that's what they allude to, is that Alec Holland ends up dying and going back to his wife and daughter. But I believe Maxine ends up becoming the new red.
The
leader.
red. Okay.
Yeah. And then humanity is like, saved. So yeah, this is just.
Did they have it where they show like a graveyard of other Swamp Things? They were like, Alan Hart, when you die, this is where you're gonna go. Did they show that?
No, he just goes back to that place because that was like the deal he made with the green. Like he goes to like the spirit realm where he can be with the souls of Abby and his daughter.
Oh, okay.
And,
cool.
and so that's where he goes back to, and then and of course. The humans that survived, they're of course like, plants start growing again, and the earth is being, refurbished and rejuvenated. Plants start growing because it was a dead planet. It was just water and like rocky islands and shit. No plants were growing. So life recycles. That whole philosophical, existential. Philosophical themes that are going through Swamp Thing books. Life it's a cycle. So yeah, this was a cool ending. It was a lot of action. The art's dope, and this was just a cool, brisky. Well, it wasn't brisky because I had to wait a year for the second issue, but but no, if you read these all three at once, I'm sure it's fun. It's probably a lot of fun. I should do that. Read them all three at back to back. Because it is just
wait for DC because it took so long. The first one is on DC Universe.
Yeah,
I'll get to it. I'm almost done with Stormwatch,
yeah.
and I'm gonna get to it. So yeah,
150 pages, like 50 pages a book, 48 pages.
I'll fly through that. Yeah,
yeah. It's probably solid.
That's a
movie. James Gunn.
He won't do it. It's too smart for him.
So yeah, 4 out of 5. This was a cool series.
Nice. Okay. All right, so first book I'm going to do is Milestone 30th Anniversary Special #1. Now, the thing about this book, it is 96 pages, so I'm not going to review the whole thing.
Is it an anthology?
It's an anthology book. It's like different stories here and stuff like that. I'm going to just show you the picture right there. It's a reference to that Flash run, that Flash book back in the 60s where he met with Jay Garrick. And because basically that's what the story is, where I'll just get to it. Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that happens, but I'm gonna get to it.
The
like
Flash
I said,
of Two Worlds or whatever.
Yeah, Flash of Two Worlds, but it's the Static of Two Worlds. So it's actually the same story where like the Milestone heroes of this universe go to the Milestone universe of the 90s. And it's weird the way it's interesting. It's a fun story. And basically they're fighting Holocaust. Like they killed Holocaust of this universe, because I guess in that Blood Syndicate book they just had, they killed them. But the Holocaust of the 90s is still alive. So he's just like about to destroy everything, and you got little stuff like this, like Static, and basically they're showing like the differences, like Rocket meets 90s Rocket, and she's like, tell Amistad I said bye. Like, oh, you got a little brother in this universe? Brother? No, that's my son. She's like, wait, what? Like, I'm supposed to have a son? So she finds out who her baby daddy was in this universe, so she knows not to talk to that dude back in her universe. So like, he's not gonna put a baby in me, So cool story. I like I said, awesome story. I like it, but that's just the one story they got there. The story I wanted to talk about was Static teaming up with Batman Beyond. There we go. So it's like old man Static. It's like old Static of the future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So this is Neo Gotham Earth 12. Now, like I said, if you know your 52 universe and stuff like that, Earth 12 is the Batman Beyond world. That's their universe. So basically you got Batman Beyond is Terry McGinnis, just like the cartoon, fighting this dude named Onslaught. He's talking to Bruce on the intercom. He's like, Bruce, is this one of your bad guys? Onslaught, never heard this guy before. And Onslaught is just kicking the shit out of him. He's just a big robot. That's all he is. Terry is throwing everything at him. Onslaught is blocking everything. Bruce not saying anything to him. And then Onslaught fires some shit at him and knocks him in the river, Gotham River. And he just, wakes up later on and he's getting licked in the face by Ace the Bat Hound. Same Ace from, the animated series. And that's when Bruce told him, like, you failed. He was like, well, I was trying to contact you, but you didn't say anything. He was like, well, that's not my fault. You still supposed to figure that shit out. I had to save your ass. I pulled you out of that river, And she was like, look, Bruce, I know I'm not cut out to be what I'm supposed to be, but I'm still Batman. He like, no, I don't see Batman right now. All I see is this whiny ass teenager just making excuses on why he got his ass whooped. Because Batman will be trying to figure out a way to strategize and how to take this guy down instead of making excuses for himself. That's what. So Bruce is like laying in his ass. He like, so get your ass out of here and go find him again. Basically being an asshole just like he was in the cartoon. So he's basically on patrol looking for Onslaught. And while he's looking for him, he's like, he finds this sensor. He finds a whole bunch of electronic signals. He's like, okay, this got to be the big robot. Onslaught's got to be him. Found you. He's like, no, I found you. And it turns out it is Static from the future, of Batman Beyond. And he's just like Static, what you doing here? He was like, Bruce wanted me to talk to you because he felt like he came down a little bit too hard. Plus, he figured you need some help with those robots because they actually came to Dakota and started shit also. So I figured we just meet up and just take care of this shit. He's like, and plus, Bruce wants you to know that he still trusts you to be Batman. He's like, look, man, what do you know about me? I'm doing this for my family, but you understand it because you old as hell anyway. You're like, old as hell? I'm 35. You're like, exactly. You old as hell. And that's when Static like puts his feet on the ground. He's like, look, you asshole. He doesn't call him that, but you can tell that's what he wants to say to him. He's like, look, I get it. You tell a bunch of jokes because you try to deflect everything. You don't want to know everybody that you're scared. You try to deflect emotions, but I get it. You're scared because I've been through the whole thing. I started this thing at the same age you are now. When I got cussed out by Mr. Terrific, when I had to help Batman take down the Joker, when I had to fight the Justice League because Brainiac took over their minds. I used to tell jokes all the time also because I didn't want anybody to know that I was scared that they would find out that I'm an imposter. But eventually I got around it. So what'd you do? How'd you get around it? And so this is what I did. Boom. And then Onslaught comes out of nowhere. He's like, oh, Onslaught's about to attack us. He's like, hey, don't worry about it. I got it. And then Static snaps his fingers and Onslaught disappears. He's like, so what you say about the retirement home again? You're like, what the hell did you do? He was like, I learned how to trust myself. He was like, so I used to think I was an imposter, but eventually I got enough courage to realize that I can do this. And you can be the same way. If you quit right now, you'll never know how good you can be. Like right now, no, you're not as good as Bruce was. But if you keep at it, you may even surpass Bruce. So no, you're not Bruce, but you are Batman. You're like, well, that's cool, but what did you do? Oh, I teleport him to jail. They're gonna take care of him and then wait for him when I get there. So if you ever need help, just ask me because sometimes even Batman needs help. The end. And another story, other stuff happens. Apparently, Rocket becomes icon in the future. But it was just a quick, short story, in and out. A lot of stuff happens. I do recommend this book. It's just a lot of meat to it. I can't really get into everything of it, but it was a fun story. So if it ever drops on DC Universe or get a chance to want to drop $10 on it, it's a $10 book, I do recommend it. Because it was fun watching the new Milestone and the old Milestone, interact with each other, So overall, I get this book, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm giving it 4 or 5 because it was a bunch of other story. Like towards the end of the story, they would just throw away stories. So I like that kind of drags it down. But if it was just that first story and this Batman story, it would have got a high grade. That's just me. So yeah.
All right, cool. My next book will be Nightwing 102. Just read this right before the pod.
Our Lord is on the background. He talking about Snyder.
Yeah, I just read this right before the pod because, man, Comixology. I don't know, man. That's happened before. We're like, really? That came out this week? I didn't see it.
Well, see, the thing is, what Comixology is so screwed up, they will show you the shit for next week.
Yeah.
So, Cliff read it. Appreciate it, Cliff. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so I just found out right before this pod that Nightwing 102 had come out this week, and I hadn't read it yet. So I decided to, give it a look so I can add it to the reviews, and so I did. So this continues on from last issue where, Nightwing and the Teen Titans, they have a new Titans Tower in Bloodhaven.
Bloodhaven, yeah.
There's a shape-shifting villain named the Smile Man or some shit, or the Smiling Man or something like that. Anyways, he impersonates Dick, throws him in the morgue to get rid of him. And then he goes to try and get, what's that girl's name? Blockbuster's daughter. I forget her name, Olivia or something. She's got superpowers too.
Okay.
But Nightwing can slow down his breathing and, slow down his heart rate and all that shit, And he comes out of the morgue. He gets a hold of Cyborg. Cyborg teleports him to that little girl's house just in time for this impersonating Nightwing, this fake Nightwing, to, trying to take this little girl. So they start fighting. Nightwing is taken on as an imposter, and as you can see here, Nightwing versus Nightwing. This impersonating villain can also fly. He slaps the shit out of Dick. That sounded wrong. grabs the little girl, slaps the shit out of Nightwing, grabs the little girl and tries to fly away, but the Teen Titans show up and basically grab the little girl. He tries to throw her, but Wonder Girl saves her and shit. And then we get a flashback that this Smile guy or whatever is in cahoots with, what's that guy's name? That demon, Neuron.
Oh, he's in it? Was he in there earlier, or he just showed up now?
He just showed up. So he'd made a deal with Neuron to give him powers of shape-shifting and, flying around and shit. So the Teen Titans are like, okay, cool. Well, we're going to have to go fight Neuron. So we're going to have to go down to the demon realm or whatever. And that's where it ends. So, this is I don't know. Ever since this became a Teen Titan book, I'm like,
yeah, I mean, because he's about to shut it down and make actual Teen Titans book anyway.
Yeah, I know he's going to be writing that, and I've been having fun, So it's not now; it's the team, and they're like trying to shove everybody. There's a scene with Garfield, Beast Boy. He's in bed. I didn't care. It's like they're trying to shove everybody in here because all these team members and Starfire's got to say some shit, and Raven's got to say some shit, and. You know what I mean? Just sort of distracting from the Nightwing shit.
Right, what you bought the book for.
Yeah. So next issue they're gonna probably go down to the demon realm to go get this guy, and we'll see how that goes. But I'll give this a 3 out of 5. This is kind of, a filler book. So.
Cool. Okay. So next book I'm going to do, and this is my book of the week. This is Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants #2. This is still in that whole Sins of Sinister thing they got going on right now. Yeah. So big stuff happening. This is actually a fast forward 100 years in the future from the last book that happened. So Storm is an old lady now. Let me see if I can get that thing. Let me see. Yeah. So Storm is an old lady and is basically telling her story, and we're gonna go to it. So how it starts off how the last book did. It's like Star Wars, that crawl at the beginning. Time for galactic war.
Yeah.
They're gonna get. I'm gonna just give you a brief notes of this. What happened? Basically, 100 years in the future, the Brotherhood is still fighting the good fight against the sinister, Quiet Council. Meanwhile, they got information from the Freedom Force of how to beat the sinister guys, but of course, everybody in the Freedom Force died to give them that information. You know, many Bothans died on this thing right here. But our heroes will go to whatever. Anyway, just like in any Star Wars movie, and you'd be surprised how many people don't notice it's a Star Wars movie. Every Star Wars movie, after the credit, it always pans down to a planet background and a spaceship. Watch it. Any Star Wars movie, all of them start the exact same way, except for Rogue One, I think, and Solo. But the rest of them, yeah. Anyway, somebody's coming to the ship. They come into the Racco ship. I can't remember what the ship is called. They were like, who's coming to the ship? They put a passcode in, but the passcode doesn't match up. They were like, tell you what, do the cycle for tomorrow and see if the passcode matches up. And they put they do the cycle for tomorrow's passcode. Like, yeah, it matches up. What the hell? They're like, it's her. Let her in. They're like, okay. And turns out it is Destiny. Because Destiny, of course, knows the passcodes for tomorrow. So that's why they know it's her and not some kind of imposter. So she goes there and she's basically telling them, yeah, I'm here. I want to talk to the witch. Don't you mean goddess? You're like, don't start this shit. Don't be like Exodus with Hope, you know. And then that's when she like, who are you? Are you X-Men? Are you X-Man? Or are you Cable? And aren't you upset that your daughter died? You're like, everybody got people that died. You're like, what about my people? And then she gets pissed off. And basically, that whole Freedom Force thing, Mystique led that team. So she was one of the many Bothans that died to give that information, you know, plus Hercules and Kid Nova and whoever the hell it is back there, Blob, I think, anyway, like that. And she's crying. She's basically like, I need to speak to Storm to get this done. And that's when Storm comes out and she's like, why are you here? What the hell do you want? So Storm is like 100 and something years old at this point, you know, just been fighting the war, and she has her own army and commander of Brotherhood. They all over the place like that. And basically what Destiny is here for, she basically look, last time we met 100 years ago, I gave you some false information because Mystique and I had our own agenda. But now Mystique died giving you some information. Everything I'm about to tell you is true. So I know how to stop them. I know where the Sinisters are going to be. We can beat them. If we team up together, we can take them down once for all. But what we need to do this time is kill Moria for real. And like, okay, well, let's do it. So yeah, that's the start of the story. So they get into their ship, their rebel ship, and they call them the rebels in this show. So they get in their rebel ship.
The blockade runner.
The blockade runner. That's what it looks like. And she's just like, okay, we're almost in the vicinity of the Sinister Empire or whatever. I need all my fighters to sign off, and that's when you got them signing off. Red leader standing by, gold leader standing by, blue leader standing by. You know, all in there. They're ex-fighters. You know, so then they shoot off. So you got only three fighters in the big ugly blockade ship that's right there, and they are going against that, not the Death Star, the Death Sphere.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the Death Sphere. So what is the Death Sphere? So like I said, with last book we talked about Mr. Sinister. Nathaniel Essex, when he died, cloned himself 4 times. Mr. Sinister is just one of the 4 clones. The other clone is Orbis Stellaris. So he controls the Death Sphere. And what the Death Sphere is holding, the Memoria clones are inside in the center of the Death Sphere. So if they can get into the center of the Death Sphere and blow up the thing that's holding the Moria, they win. Everything blows up and that's it. So that's the whole plan. But they only have 3 ships, and basically like he's trying to get scrolls. He's just like, oh, Orbis Stellaris, it's a level orange. What are we doing right now? And they're like, the rebel scum are trying to take over our base. You're like, well, it's just 3 of them. Go, but don't bring out the big guns. Send a few fighters.
Evacuate in a moment of triumph.
That's exactly basically what he says. You know?
I think you overestimate their chances.
So he said, instead of sending my big guns, send the fighters. And how many fighters? Send all of them. So they send all of the fighters to him. Like, I guess like 300 fighters, because basically they said the odds are 3-1, you know, and like, don't tell me the odds, you know, some shit like that. Or 100-1. That's what the odds are. So basically, so they got to fight 300 fighters versus 3 of them, or it might be even 400, might be 400 fighters. So how are they going to fight 400 fighters with just 4 ships? So what they did, apparently, one of the Brotherhood members named Cora, she has the power to like amplify mutant powers. So what she does is that she amplifies Destiny's fortune-telling powers. While she's amplifying Destiny's fortune-telling powers, she also amplifies Cable's powers. So now, since Cable's like the X-Men's best strategist, you have fortune-telling powers with strategy powers. And so then they can tell the future on how to navigate and bypass all these guys. So that's what they do. So that's how they're able to dodge 400 fighter ships, because they know what they're going to fight. So they're dodging everybody. But meanwhile, Johnny Ironfire, whatever his name is, he has a dream where Mother Righteous invades mind. She's the other Sinister. She's another Sinister. So and she's basically like, I'm trying to help make sure that you beat these guys. So anyway, he wakes up and now they're fighting, getting through everybody. They can't get hit. And the Skrull leader's just like, how the hell are they dodging all our fight? It's just 4 of them. How are they doing this shit? And she's like, oh, they got to be some kind of plan. They can't be this dumb to rush us down like this. And they must have Destiny on their side. It's not luck. So he's like, so what are they planning? What are they planning to do? And he realized what they're planning. Oh shit. The fighter exhaust port. And she was like, well, yeah, you told me to send all the fighters. You dumbass. Close the port before they find a way in, because that's their way into the sphere. So they're like, close it now. And as soon as they get ready to close it, they're able to get in there. So now they're able to get in there since Orbis Stellaris sent every single ship out there. Now the center of the Death Sphere is defenseless. So now they're sitting there looking at the Moria machine right there. And they're like, all we got to do is just send a black hole torpedo in it right now. We blow this bitch up, and that's it. Of course, we'll die too, but I mean, that will end the universe. It don't really matter. She's just like, She's like, do it. And she's like, thank you, Storm. And right before Destiny can finish her sentence, she gets sliced in half by one of Storm's assassins. And she was like, that's what she meant by do it, not blow up the Moria machine, kill Destiny. Because Storm actually doesn't want to end this universe. She wants to keep it going. So she was like, don't shoot it, don't put it down. We're going to protect the Moria.
Old lady
Storm. Yeah. So old lady Storm is just like, don't blow up the Moria machine. We're going to protect the Moria machine. And Cable was like, okay, yeah, that's cool and fine and dance stuff like that. But how you expect to get out of this sphere, the Death Sphere? Because we're trapped in here right now. And the moment they open that port back up, they're going to send every single fighter they got in there on us. And we're going to be, shooting fish in a barrel. We got nowhere to go. They're like, oh, we got somewhere to go. Don't worry about that. I planned for this. And plus you killed our best strategist with Destiny. So we can't even see the future on how to get out of here. So like, don't worry, I got that. So Core, you got any juice left, or did you give Destiny all your power? Like, no, I got a little bit left. It's like, okay, hit me with it. And that's when Storm, like, okay, they called me an old witch for a reason. So remember back in that Ta-Nehisi Coast Black Panther run, when it was theorized that Storm might be like a Orisha, like an ancient god, like, but just walking. Well, apparently she like prays to the Orisha, and she carries up enough power of her own, because she's like, I am on a mega level mutant, but now even Omega levels have their limits. But now it's time to go past my limit in Aurora's name. So she creates a black hole. No, she creates a wormhole and teleports them and the Moria machine out of there with her storm powers. So let the wormhole open, and they just suck everybody out of there, and they go to like the edge of the universe. So they're out of there. So when all the people come back in there to like defend the Moria machine, it's gone. And like, sir, there's nothing we can do. And Orbis Stellaris is just like, oh, there's something we can do in life support. So basically, he kills everybody on his ship. I mean, while they're looking at it, and then, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna set up a base on there. So, and we're gonna get more rebels, and we're gonna have the good fight, and we're gonna let them know that we have a good chance of beating back the Sinisters. And we're like, let's celebrate with Storm. And how's she doing? And Cora's just crying like she can't hear you. She's with the ancestors. Storm caused up so much power it killed her. Creating a wormhole. The end. Damn. So yeah. So the next book of Storm and the Brotherhood is going to be 1,000 years in the future. So now how that happened, I don't know where they're going to go with that story. So yeah, honestly, I was loving the story. You got X-Men, you got Star Wars. Just put it in my veins. Just put it in my veins right there. That's all like that. So yes, I'm going to rate this book a 6.5 out of 5. Oh, what do we got here?
Check out, yeah, he loved it. Cliff loved it.
What, Cliff? You didn't? Come on, Cliff. You didn't love this? This is awesome, man. I'm sorry. Flies the Blackbird and Star Destroyer. Flies the Blackbird and Star Destroyer. So yeah. Like I said, you got Storm creating a black hole with her X-Men powers. Come on, man. That's awesome. And they just retold Star Wars. Like just for the fuck of it. So, yeah. All right. So shit. Yeah, but what you got next?
Well, my last book, Earthdivers, number 6.
Now I know you said it's your last book, but is this the last book of Earthdivers?
It is. Well,
Is it?
well, we shall see.
Okay.
We
Depends on how well it sells. Okay. We know how it works. We know how the game goes.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Earthdivers, number 6. Now, this is the book where, 100 years in the future, the Earth is a dead planet. All the, non-natives left the planet to go fly to Mars or whatever, life, the moon or whatever. Because, climate change and whatever, pollution, war, fucked up the planet. Only people who are left are the natives. They stayed behind because that's what we do. We fuck Mother Earth, man. That's where we are. That's why we're here. So they find a cave that is a time portal. So a group of them decide to go back in time to kill Christopher Columbus. Back to 1492. Stop Columbus from ever coming to the Americas and creating the colonization of these two continents. One of them goes back. He's like a Columbus expert. He knows his history. He knows the history of the voyage. He goes back. He, disguises himself as one of the crewmates on the ships and been trying to kill Christopher Columbus ever since. He gets found out. They think he's a demon because he knows the future and all that shit. And then also there's stuff going on in, back in the future time with the people back in the dead Earth, 100 years in the future, or 600 years from 1492, whatever. But this is the last book. He finally kills Columbus. And let's just bask in this image right here. Of Tad, the main character, slitting Columbus's throat.
The money shot.
Yes, the money shot, what we all been waiting for, right when he sets foot on the quote-unquote new world. He pops out of the water and slices this motherfucker's throat.
Nice.
Yeah. Of course, when this issue happened, he got captured by the men. They tried to hang him. But he escaped. And he was left for dead on the Santa Maria. In the last episode, in the last book, he killed everybody on the Nina, skinned them alive and hung them up. But then he got found out and they tried to kill him. Well, he escaped that and then he jumped onto Santa Maria, but it's dead in the water. So what does he do? He carves up the skins of all the dead sailors and uses that, makes a sail makes a sail out of the dead skins of the sailors, which is so fucking metal. And that's what he uses to catch up to the Santa Maria right as it's landing, in the Caribbean or whatever, right? He catches up to him and then he jumps off the boat and then swims just as Columbus gets off his rowboat and steps on the beach, pops up, shanks his ass. However, all the men that were on the Santa Maria end up killing him, and they, send word back about what he did. So America still gets colonized.
Damn. It was just somebody else did it. So
yeah, they come back for revenge. Yeah, they come back for revenge. They're like, oh, this guy basically told the future, like, I'm from the future. You're coming here and you're going to kill my people and fuck up the planet, blah, 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 blah. So he goes back. So when Columbus's men land, they end up going back to Europe, and then they come back with an armada and still end up wiping out everything.
That's the Hitler paradox.
Yeah,
that's the Hitler paradox right there. They say if you go back in time and you kill Hitler, then some worse shit will happen because you never learned the lesson from Hitler to begin with.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I raised those questions when I reviewed the first issue. You know, that time travel, the paradox. Yeah, the paradox.
Right.
You know, the time loop. You're stuck in a time. You got to have this certain, like in Doctor Who, there's fixed
fixed
moments
time points. Yeah.
Yeah, fixed moments in time you can't change. But back in the future, the people who are left back, they're the whole time they're wondering why nothing's changed. Like, did he kill Columbus or not? And did it change the history? Because nothing's changed. Well, they go back into the cave, and one of them goes back through the cave and then he comes out at 1776. And you see him in front of
Independence.
He's in front of George Washington. And it says to be continued in Earthdivers number 7. So this isn't over.
What
so,
did you say they sold the right? I mean, sold the movie rights? Or TV
I heard
rights?
they're making some sort of a movie or a series out of this.
Okay, so if that's true, they can't cancel the book now.
Yeah.
They need more material.
Well, this is written by Stephen Graham Jones. He's an indigenous horror author, and he's like best-selling. He's been like last few years, he's been like a best-selling author. He's written some, I've reviewed them. I've been reading some of his books. Yeah, they're all horror stories with a native twist. His new series, the slasher, My Heart is a Chainsaw and Don't Fear the Reaper. They're a new slasher series, and they're best-selling. So he's becoming popular, and he wrote this. So that could be a reason why it's selling too. Fans of his, he's got a fan base, and they're into what he writes.
Yeah,
so,
but at the same time, it sounds like he's passionate about it, and not just I'm gonna just crank this shit out. Just like it seems like this is something he's passionate about.
Yeah, he is a comic book fan. He wrote that. He wrote a story in that that native book that came out a few years ago. The native month, the Heritage Month. You know, Marvel's.
Oh, and Marvel, yeah.
Native History Month. They have the Pride Month. You know, they always have those months where they, pat themselves on the back for diversity. Well, he wrote a story in one of them. He also wrote a story in that werewolf book that I got a story in. So I'm kind of like, again, shameless plug. Go check.
You dropped the name right there.
Pick up a Howl from Run Planet Books. It's got stories featuring Stephen Graham Jones and me.
Aren't you working on something else?
I have a book in the works. The art is done. It's my own independent comic. It's the art is done. I got to get it colored and lettered and printed, and it costs money, which is I don't have a lot of right now. So it's hopefully I'll have it done this year. Hopefully, I'm hoping I'll get it out this year. But I'm not going to really start promoting it until I got something more concrete. I've been dropping images here and there, but I'd like to get it, a lot more finished before I start. Hey, buy my book. You know what I mean? Because it's not nearly done yet.
Like I said, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting on my ass. I'm just waiting for Eli to get one of these books to go big so we can get this yacht. And I get the AT&T girl.
Shit. Marry the porn stars and shit.
Right. Which one out of Kevin Eastman and Peter Lorre, which one went after porn stars?
Eastman.
Eastman. I'm gonna be Eastman. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Go have our eyes wide shut sex parties and shit.
Right. For those who don't know, that's what the Teenage Mutant Turtles creators did as soon as they sold that shit to Nickelodeon. They just went out cocaine and porn stars. That was
buying tanks and shit.
Right. Oh shit! All right, so
this is a 4 out of 5. It was like this is what I was waiting for. This is the money shot, Again, just our revenge fantasies. So we'll see what happens. They go back to 1776. Maybe they'll try something then. With George, but if they're just going to go around killing all the founding fathers.
I do want them to know that if you kill the founding fathers, then America becomes part of England.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Then you're
really gonna have problems.
Then we'll be Canada.
Right. So I hope I'm pretty sure they'll address that. That's just something we just popped in our head. They'll address that. So, yeah.
And for those who don't know, Canada is just as racist as the United States. You know, their rednecks can speak French though. That's so yeah. But yeah.
All right, so
and that's it for this.
All right, so
until the next issue. So this series is not done yet. So
we'll see. They'll change. Maybe they'll change it from Kill Columbus to Kill Washington. So
yeah.
Part 2. Okay. All right. So last book I'm going to do is Superman #2. Yeah,
I read this. I
did you?
This. I did.
Okay.
Read this.
We're cooking with gas. Okay. Yeah.
I figured you would read it. So.
Oh yeah. You know I gotta get my hands on Superman. So yeah, where is that? I can't find that book. Oh well. I don't know where it is. I'm not gonna worry about it. Oh, it's right there. I want to pay attention to it. Okay, yeah. So this is from the last issue where Superman got into it with Parasite, and he was attacked by Parasite. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor's in his ear, just saying stupid shit. So Superman has to find a way how to beat his supervillain, and he's got a new villain on the poster called Marilyn Moon Knight. Is that her name?
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember. We'll find out with the book. Anyway, let's start up. Let's get to it. So the book starts off with Superman getting sucked dry by Parasite. Yes, you did download the right Superman book. Well, yeah. And while the parasites are fighting over each other for some of Superman, and Superman wakes up and he just like, the buffet's closed. So he tries to fly out of there, but they drain enough power of him that he can't fly out of there. He's like, oh shit. So the parasite's about to grab his ass, bleed him dry. So Superman jumps out of there. And he jumps and grabs onto a side of a building and crawls up the building like he's Spider-Man because he can't fly. So yeah. So while he's trying to get away from them, parkour. Yeah. So he decides to do his heat vision because all the power in Metropolis is out. So he does heat vision kind of like the flashlight and notices like there's parasites all over the city. And of course, the name of this issue is, of course, Night of the Parasite. I knew the title of the story before I even got to this page.
It's Joshua Williamson, man.
It's Joshua Williamson, of course, yeah. So then you got the Superman Society of Mad Scientists or some shit, whatever like that. Anyway, we find out the name of the bad guys there. Now these other bad guys, I think I know them, but I don't know them. I'm not going to try to name them. I think I know them, but I think there's people before. But anyway, the two bad guys we didn't know about are named Graft and Dr. Farm. Dr. Farm, Graff and Dr. Farm. They're brothers. Yeah, he's the one that was chopping up Bizarro last time. They finally got their hands on Kryptonite, and he's the one that did that shit to Parasite. Basically, they're Lex Luthor villains. And now that Lex Luthor's gone, they're trying to like replace him or be the new Lex Luthor for him and shit like that. So yeah. So they're just doing evil bad guy shit. That's what we're doing. That's all you need to know. Meanwhile, all the parasites are headed to Supercorp, and when they get to Supercorp, they start draining the power. And Mercy is just like Mercy Graves is telling them, "Okay, shut off the power of Supercorp so they can't drain us dry." And everybody evacuate the building. You know, while they evacuate the building, Mercy's hands transform into like some guns and shit like that. Now, I don't think that was ever a thing in the comics. However, that was a thing in the Young Justice cartoon. So I guess that's why Mercy can do that. Why would we call her Marcy? Anyway, she blasts them, and when she blasts them, they multiply. They just turn into more, so they don't die. They multiply. So she realized Parasite never did that shit before. So that's when Superman busts in, and he just ice breaths all of them. He like that's the only thing that can really stop them. But even that ain't gonna stop them very long. So we need to figure out something to do. And she just like, Mercy, what have you been doing here? And she just like, I don't know what they're doing here. He's like, you're lying. Like, what did you do? You read my heartbeat? You're like, no, you work for Lex Luthor, so I know you're lying. You know. So, and plus, I haven't heard Lex Luthor stop talking. So what the hell is going on? But meanwhile, Lex Luthor is still in his ear. So here's the thing: how Lex Luthor is talking to Superman, because Lex Luthor knows that Superman like can hear certain people, Lois Lane, his parents, Batman, and he also wired himself to Lex Luthor. So Lex Luthor knows that anything he's saying, Superman can hear him, even though he can't hear Superman, but it doesn't really matter. That's why he just in his ear just talking and shit. So Lex Luthor makes a deal with him. Look, you need to find a way to stop Parasite, I know how to stop them. Break me out of jail, bring me back to Supercorp so I can get to my lab, and I can make you a plan to beat them. And you're like, hell no, I'm not breaking you out of jail. Meanwhile, he's talking to Jonathan Kent. He's talking to John and Kara to see what they're doing. And basically, they're creating like an ice fortress around Metropolis to stop the parasites from escaping Metropolis. So like, but that's only going to hold them for so long. Eventually they're going to break out. And he also says, oh yeah, also I can't find mom. She's like, wait, what? So he like, there's only one place she can be at, the Daily Planet. So he goes to the Daily Planet, even though it's been evacuated, and he looks around for her. And that's when he finds Marilyn Moon or whatever. Mother Moon. I don't know what her name is.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, she's shooting at him, and she's just like, oh, you can't fight a ghost, Superman. And she's shooting at him. He's just like, will you calm down, stop shooting me, let's just talk. And she was like, don't worry, Superman. I will be back soon. And she just disappears. And Marilyn Moon Knight rides again. So she's like Ghost Rider, kind of. Because she like makes a horse out of nowhere and just rides off and shit. So yeah.
She was like the opposite. Was that? Remember that? Did you ever see that Ghost comic? It was like I think it was an Image or Dark Horse. She was like a nun with guns or whatever back in the 90s.
Some shit. I can't remember it, but yeah. But anyway, whatever she did, Superman is now back at full power. Even though Parasite had drained him, now he's back at full power. Even though he don't know what she did. And that's when he looks for her, but he like, I gotta look for Lois again. And Lex Luthor still yapping in his ear. Superman, why ain't you came and got me yet? Come bring me out of jail. Superman, help your old friend. And then we hear Smallville. So he knows Lois calling for him. And she's in the shadow. And she's just like, I'm hungry. So Lois is a parasite, and Superman tries to stop her from sucking them dry. And that's when all the members of the Daily Planet are parasites, like Jimmy Olsen and Ron Troop and all them other people. And like they're coming for him. And meanwhile, he freeze breaths them and like analyze them to see what the hell's going on. And that's when they're saying like the parasite's about to break out. We can't stop them from breaking out of Metropolis. And Superman's like, Parasite is evolving. He's now in the air. And he realized that he has turned into a parasite. So, to be continued. Hunger of the super parasite. So, it's schlocky horror, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the whole title, Night of the Parasite, he goes to the Daily Planet. It basically turns into a zombie movie,
Yeah, basically. Or like a Gremlins or something.
Gremlins, something like that. So,
Critters or some shit.
Yeah, I like it. Like I said, we just read 2 books today or tonight that basically steal blatantly from classic movies we've seen before.
Yeah.
So,
well, like I said, it's
Joshua.
Joshua Williams, and he's a horror guy. He likes horror.
Is he?
Yeah, he's into horror.
What horror stuff has he done?
Didn't he do Nailbiter?
Did he?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that serial killer book. But he's done like like Lemire. Lemire's done a lot of horror too.
Yeah, Lemire's done it. Tinian's done it. I just never know Williams was that guy, but I guess
I know. Joshua Williams. Yeah, he did Nailbiter. That was like a horror book. That was like one of his big books too.
Yeah. So a Superman horror book? I never thought I'd see that, but it was actually pretty clever. So I kind of like this. Strong 45. I'm giving it a 45. The art is awesome. Jamal Campbell is killing it. So yeah.
I'm having fun with it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's starting off out the gate one of the strongest Superman books I've read in a while. So
yeah.
So
I figured you were going to read it. So I read it. And I figured you were going to review it. That's why I didn't.
I'm sticking with the Superman books right now until they Jip and Chronicle right now. Both of them, Action Comics and Superman, they're there for me right now. Hey guys, I'm out. Great show, Free K. I knew it, Cliff. I knew it.
All right, later, Cliff.
All right, so.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty booked out. The only other book I read was that Free Archie book. There was like a horror about Pop's malt shop where all this weird horror shit happens. It was another anthology. And
wait, what was the name of the book again?
Something Pop's malt shop of horrors or something like that.
Oh, okay.
No, the Pop's the burger joint, the diner that the kids hang out at.
Yeah, the malt shop.
The malt shop. Yeah, the burger shop. The burger diner or whatever. It's just an anthology where he's like, serving human meat and, you know, in works with devil worshipping and shit, and monsters are there. It was just, you know, kind of like that Final Girl book that came out, where it's just a bunch of short stories. You know, it was all right. So I didn't put it on the list though. I didn't feel like going too deep into it because it was just, you know, more stupid schlocky horror, which wasn't bad. It's just like I didn't want to go like find images and all that shit. So yeah, but other than that, I'm booked out.
Okay, I'm booked out also. Like I said, I was going to revisit also. Like I said, if you want to help out with Rolling Fork, like I said, Rolling Fork in the surrounding area did get destroyed this week. Like I said, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But if you want to help out, there are plenty of places you can donate to. But I would recommend, like I said, going to msmove.org. You know, they actually have it even like a cash app that you can go to, or you can just give food or drink or whatever you want to give. Like I said, I know a lot of people don't trust these you know, these fundraiser places like this, but like I said, I know these people personally. I trust them. So yeah. You can't trust them, trust me. So,
cool, yeah.
All right.
That's
like I said, next week we're gonna
Did you watch the new Superman episode?
Yes, that was that was a heartbreaking episode.
That was a bummer too.
Yeah, that was heavy. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
because it reminds you that Superman, like no matter how strong he is, there's stuff he can't fight.
Yeah,
you know, it reminds you, it humanizes him. So yeah, especially because he was asking Lois the whole time, like, Lois, what's wrong? Lois, what's wrong? And you know he could use his superpowers to just find out, but he didn't do that because he wanted to respect her.
Yeah.
So when she's at the top of the day trying to stop the woman from suicide, and he was just like, oh shit, like it hit him. And then they had that meeting with the family. Yeah. I was like, man, so yeah, so Superman and Lois we highly recommend it. We highly recommend it.
Yeah, good.
Did you see Gotham Knights?
No. I'll watch an episode for next week.
Let me talk about Gotham Knights. I know I said we're gonna talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it. Eli, this episode was bad, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. There was some redeeming things about this episode. Let me explain. The Quarter Owls are in this episode. They fight a Talon. And survive. And the way they get away from it, like do some like kind of imagining shit from there.
Oh, the Gotham Knights fight a Talon.
Yes, the Gotham Knights fight from CW. Yeah. So the Talon shows up on Gotham Knights and he fights them. And I was like, okay, because it turns out like the main guy, I thought he was just like some kind of rich, prissy brat like that. Apparently, no martial arts. He didn't tell anybody that his dad, Batman, taught him martial arts. So he fights a Talon with Carrie Kelly and all the people like that. And I was like, okay, I'm oddly entertained by this shit show.
Carrie Kelly's in it?
Yes, she's black, but yeah. Because of course she is.
From Dark Knight's Return, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's a weird show. It's a bad show, but I was entertained by its shittiness. Like it's weird.
By its shittiness.
Yes, it's weird. So I can't just say it's the worst thing I ever seen. Because I'm like kind of sort of entertained by this. Like I thought I was gonna be like checked out, but it's kind of like it's enough stupid shit in it that kind of catch your attention. You know, anytime you fade out, a Talon shows up and kills somebody. That's all I'm saying. So
cool.
Yeah. So that's all I got. Like I said, we're about to get out of here. Eli, thank you for giving us the song we're gonna go out with.
I was just gonna ask you, are you gonna do that? What's his name? Joe West or whatever?
Joe West. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Joe
all
West.
Right.
I don't know who he is. Eli stands by him. Maybe we're gonna post him now because if he's a big thing 3 months from now, I'm gonna kick myself, for that.
Well, yeah, I just found out about him. I was wondering if you knew about him.
Never heard of him. Nobody I know has heard of him. But like I said, people always pop up all the time. And especially if you say he's on TikTok, it's only a matter of time before he blows up. So yeah. Until then, it's Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys this week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
I'm moving like I'm him, nigga. They really mad cause I'm him, nigga. Crematorium the beamer with my bitch in it. Landed on this guy, he gotta be some fly jigger. Dropping jewels, dropping hoes, I ain't in the litter. You turn a little Philly eyed. Insecure in these moments, I'm calling Easter footage. I wish a nigga would run up inside the Capitol and pop. Throw the lie, Mitch Rob, New York City, that be the drive. Dark child and my African, the black could be the same trigger. Get your ass shot, Nicki Cardi, Ari ass bigger. Mr. O, yeah, I told the DJ play some gold digger. But my mama ain't all of the finest of items. The sirens is going crazy. I'm seeking pieces, some silence. A nigga gotta carry knife, he spinning back if they sliding. The Louis Vuitton Fendi, essential pieces to match it. I'm getting so much cream, I gotta get it bigger. So I'm moving like I'm him, nigga. They really mad cause I'm him, nigga. Cremateria, the beamer with my bitch in it. Landed on the sky, he gotta be some fly jigger. Dropping jewels, dropping hoes, I ain't mean to litter. They really mad cause I'm him, nigga. Cremateria, the beamer with my bitch in it. Landed on the sky, he gotta be some fly jigger. Dropping jewels, dropping hoes, I ain't mean to litter. I'm stressing, I got a chip on my shoulder like Bubble Braun. I be chasing, I'm in the air with no service. Do not disturb me for certain, and I ain't airing to judge me. Just slugging, hit some, I'm running Apollo, baby, I'm home. West side, east side, El Barrio, uptown, bro, it don't matter, niggas, we from Harlem. This uptown, niggas, fuck what you talking about? We need to bring this shit back uptown, player. So I'm moving like I'm him, nigga. They really mad cause I'm him, nigga. Cremateria, the beamer with my bitch in it. Landed on the sky, he gotta be some fly jigger. Dropping jewels, dropping hoes, I ain't mean to litter. They really mad cause I'm him, nigga. Cremateria, the beamer with my bitch in it. Landed on the sky, he gotta be some fly jigger. Dropping jewels, dropping hoes, I ain't mean to litter. What? They really mad cause I'm him, nigga. They really mad cause I'm him, nigga. It's Harlem, nigga. West side, Wick, you dig? Good kid entertainment. Fuck what you talking about? Let a nigga know I'm